How is it going, guys? I recently have been getting a lot of requests from people on my old Ranger Guide videos about how to do this stuff on Xbox. And while I cannot really show that due to not owning the game on Xbox or an Xbox at all really, I figured I would make a slowed down version of those older videos and will do my best to address any issues people are having in the comments below. So today we're going to take a look at Rangers pre-awakening skills and how to use them for, of course, the PvP. In the video description, there will be a link to the Ranger's skill tree, starting with the most important skills with a smaller set of skill points, and then there will also be a more advanced tree for people that have a lot more skill points to spend. But before we get started, I would like to state the role of the Ranger in Black Desert and what she is able to accomplish when played correctly and well. Ranger is a ranged assassin, aka the sniper, and backline support for your team. Depending on how you build her will determine which one of those you fall into the category of more, but her overall playstyle remains practically the same. I would also like to point out that Ranger is also the duelist class in the game and is known for her incredible ability to turn fights around when presented with opportunities. We are going to start off this by talking about Ranger's mobility. Ranger has a total of 7 mobility skills at her disposal, 4 of which are using the bow. Blasting Gust, also known as Q spam to the PC community, is Q plus directional keys, or in the case of the console, left bumper plus right bumper and movement. As you can see from spamming this uses an absolute crap ton of stamina, so I would not recommend spamming it very often. However, note that you can go any direction with this, and it's a very good movement tool at your disposal here. Also note that it uses mana as well, so you're draining a ton of resources using this, so be wise about how you use this skill. The next skill on the list is Flow Call from the Sky. This can be done by moving forward, hitting left click, and then hitting spacebar. For Xbox, this can be done using right bumper and then A, while moving forward, of course. Now, one thing to note about this skill, this is a super armor. What this means is, for anyone that hasn't been playing BDO, super armors basically prevent you from being hit by any crowd control except a grab. So you're still going to take damage, but you cannot be CC'd unless you are grabbed. So what that means is, if you are trying to run away and you're jumping around like this and someone has a grab near you, they can grab you out of the air, which is kind of annoying. This used to be a complete iframe, but that's no longer the case, so we just kind of deal with it the best we can. But for sure, it's still definitely a useful tool to use when you need it. Now, another optional thing you can do with this skill is use dash kick into Call from the Sky. Now this can be done by moving forward and kicking. And for Xbox, it's whatever dash kick is for you guys. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I tried to find it, but I wasn't able to actually find it. So, dash kick and then spacebar, or dash kick and then A for Xbox. Next on the list we have Explosive Evasive Shot, EES, known to the PC community. This is movement plus right click. You can also hold it, or movement and right trigger for a console. Now, something to note is this is an iframe, something that this did not have. This does. However, this has a 12-second cooldown, which is definitely pretty long. Now, one thing to note is that this can be used twice before you're considered not an iframe. However, it cannot be sectioned off, so you got to make sure that you use it all in one go, like that, or backwards like that, in order for it to count as an iframe throughout that whole thing. Next on the list we have something called a kick cancel. Now this is kind of old news to BDO, and this is something that isn't used very often because Q spam is now a thing, but basically you're gonna shoot, hold F, and move to the side and tap A and D. For console, I'm sorry, I really have no idea what this could be for you guys. It feels also like it'd be very awkward because of the way this works to actually pull it off. However, if you guys can figure out a way to pull it off, like, congrats. Let everyone know in the comments below how to use kick cancel, as it is one more way of moving, but it's not necessarily needed because of Q spam. Now we move on to Ranger's utility tools, which she has a total of 8, 4, which are in bow form. Blasting Gust, yes, Q spam again. From earlier, applies a knockdown when off cooldown. So, boom, knockdown, cooldown 6 seconds. Be aware of that. Now, the thing to note is you can also spam this and it'll randomly apply, as if you had that much stamina. Obviously, I don't. And there are multiple reasons why I don't, because I don't play in that way anymore. But just note that it will apply a random knockdown if you're able to actually spam that length of time. Then we have Explosive Evasive Shot ES again from earlier. This is going to apply a stiffen on a target. So you go like this, and they're going to be stiffened. In the case of PvE, it'll knock them down. So stiffen, basically they're going to be standing there stiffened, they can't move, which is extremely useful for you when you're trying to get away, especially if you combine it with Call from the Sky. Basically you can flip and then hop on them. So basically it's the same thing as this, but now we're just combining it with that. Next on the list we have Will of the Wind. Now this is going to be movement plus F. Notice that you can spam this around. Notice that it uses an absolute ton of resources, so be very, very aware of that. Typically you're not going to use it to this extent unless you're fighting someone 1v1, and that's because this does a lot of damage later on. For Xbox players, this is going to be B plus the left thumbstick movement. So hold B, move to the left thumbstick, left or right, and you're basically just going to do this. Now the main way this is going to be used, just to show you guys, basically you're going to shred, and then you're going to shoot off damage, which I'll get to that skill in a bit here. Next on the list is Tearing Arrow. Now this is a skill that not enough Rangers use, and when I do show it to people, they absolutely love it. And that is gonna be S plus E, and then shoot. Notice the debuffs here. This is going to be a bleed and a minus 30% move speed slow, which is absolutely devastating to your opponent trying to catch you. So especially in any 1v1 situation, make sure to shoot this off, because this is going to apply a slow, and a nasty slow at that. The other thing to keep in mind is this is AoE, so you could shoot this into a group and slow the entire group, which is extremely team-oriented ability for sure. Now, for console players, I'm not sure what this is. I apologize again, but it's whatever Tearing Arrow is, so just look at the skill, figure out what it is, and basically you're just going to apply a slow and a bleed, and it's just absolutely nasty in a team fight. Moving on to Ranger's CC extenders, of which she has 5 of, and only 2 are in bow form. First we have Charging Wind. Now Charging Wind, if held, looks like this, and if shot, is a down smash and an air attack. The way to apply the CC extenders is simple. First, CC an opponent. In this case, we're going to use Blasting Gust. Boom, knockdown. Then, we can use this to extend the CC. In that case, we waited a little too long, so he got up. So, in order to do this, basically, we're going to knock down, and we're going to use this. Boom, down smash. That's going to extend the CC and allow you to get off more damage on your opponent, which is extremely crucial in PvP. Now, one thing to note about this, the actual chance of this succeeding in a down smash is very low. However, when you pull it off, it's quite great because you don't have to charge it up fully. You can just spam this, basically. So, if a target goes down, for example, and you knock them down, and you want to just spam this on top of them until it actually works, you can. Now the skill that's better than Charging Wind is Penetrating Wind. Now this is an air attack and down smash as well, and it is a quick slot skill by default. And what it looks like is this. Boom. Now once again, you can apply it the same way to targets as you applied the Charging Wind, and that's going to be knockdown and then down smash. Boom. Now there's a way to completely remove this from the hotbar like so, and use it the cool way for a ranger, which is going to be Flow Kiss of the Wind. Now to use this, you're going to need Razor Wind 3 and Penetrating Wind 4. Basically what you do is you're going to use Razor Wind and then activate Penetrating Wind. Boom. Boom. For Xbox, this is going to be the same thing it tells you to do. So in this case, for me, it's shift right mouse button. Or with Tearing Arrow from earlier. Boom. Now we move on to Ranger's 2 pure damage skills, one of which are in bow form. And this is going to be Extreme Charging Wind, aka your shotgun. Basically, you're going to move side to side while shooting, and then just hold spacebar. In the case of Xbox, move side to side, and then hold A. Of course, while shooting again. Now, one of the cool things about shotgun is it can be used in between Blasting Gust. So basically, Blasting Gust, and then just switch to shotgun. Now, we're going to go into Ranger's primary sniping combo. Now, basically the way this works is you're going to knock over a target, you're going to use Penetrating Wind with, of course, Flow Kiss of the Wind, otherwise it won't really work, and then into shotgun. So the way this works is you're going to knock over your target, you're going to shift, right mouse button and left mouse button, of course with your Razor Wind or your Tearing Arrow. So basically it's going to be boom, 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 boom. Let me show that again. Boom, 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 boom. Now with high AP, this is going to absolutely murder people. With lower AP, it's still going to hit pretty hard, probably not as hard. But this is going to be your main damage source as Ranger, is this very high damage sniper combo. Now on console, you guys probably are not at that AP level yet. I'm not going to say you aren't because I'm not really 100% sure. However, this requires a lot of AP to actually kill someone. But considering everyone's probably still gearing up, you'd be surprised what damage this actually will do. Now, one of the other things you can do, of course, is shred first. So shred, knockdown, boom, boom. Now, one of the things you're going to see a lot of people doing, and this is a mistake that I've even made, I'm not going to say I haven't made, is Ranger shotgun spamming. Now, this is the same thing as Q spam, except you're just spamming shotgun constantly at people. There are a couple problems with doing this. One is that you are completely unprotected to crowd control, which is just not worth it. Two is you're wasting an absolute ton of your resources. In my case, I have a lot of mana and everything, but you could see the stamina is popping back up too for the most part, but it is an absolute resource hog, okay? I'm just leveled up a lot where it doesn't affect me nearly as much, but it is a resource hog. One of the other things is that shotgun has split damage. Yeah. So basically, if it's not a single target, you are going to basically be splitting damage divided by the total number of people, you know, that are getting hit by it, which makes it extremely weak hitting groups in the face. Higher AP, obviously it's a little stronger, but it's still not worth doing for the most part. So, for the most part, you're going to be just popping them, and boom, hitting them with a nice strong combo. Now the other things you can do real quick is going to be a knockdown, shred around, and then just shotgun spam in the face till they're dead. I mean, you can play shotgun spam way as well, especially right now on console for sure. However, on PC I wouldn't recommend it because obviously a lot of the things I've already said, but on console, since you guys only have bow, like your primary source is going to be this spam. So only doing this, it's still very strong, but I don't know if it's going to kill currently with current AP levels and everything else, so do what you guys need to do to get the kills. Now, the final thing I want to show you guys is that you can take Tearing Arrow and shoot a knockdown from extreme ranges, farther than even a Zerker cannon can hit once he's awakened, which, for anyone that doesn't know, that's really far. But basically, you go into Tearing Arrow and you pop your Q spam, right? Or your Blasting Gust. And it's going to shoot off a long range projectile that nails an enemy in the face and knocks him to the ground. This is basically almost out of view distance, which is absolutely incredible to have as the Ranger. Hopefully this video helped you guys understand Ranger a bit better and where she fits in as the bow user of Black Desert. I'll keep updating these out-of-date videos in the coming weeks. However, I'll be holding off on the awakening skills until Xbox players actually manage to get them. So I'll probably be focusing more on like food buffs and how to gear up, what gear to get, that sort of thing, until, you know, they manage to get their Kama Sylvian swords. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace.